So on February 28th, we got this story about Dr. Phil's sister-in-law dying, and it was 17 years after she survived an acid attack. And right here is a prime example of how our mainstream media and these stories are contrived, and they are coded by what is called gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words and phrases. That's what I talk about on every one of these videos, how our media is coded with this system, and our sports leagues, our history, it's all synced up to this system of coding numbers into words and phrases. And I mean, right away, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, check out the links in the description and you'll learn how to apply this for yourself. But in gematria, sister-in-law equals 50. And notice, she actually died on February 19th. February 19th is the 50th day of the year. So she died on the 50th day of the year. The big story was she's Dr. Phil's sister-in-law. Sister-in-law 50. Dr. Phil, if you look him up, he was born in 1950. And this acid attack that she survived 17 years ago, it was on 6/7 of 2001, or 6/5 of 2001. That means Dr. Phil was 50 years old when this acid attack happened. He was 50 years old. He was born in the year 50. Sister-in-law equals 50. And then now she dies on the 50th day of the year. What are the odds of that, Also, it says she survived the acid attack 17 years ago. The word acid equals 17 in 3 forms of gematria, right? All 4 forms, actually. The small way, the big way, English extended, and also Jewish gematria. 17 years ago, she survived an acid attack. If you go from Dr. Phil's birthday to the date of that acid attack, it was 277 days after Dr. Phil's 50th birthday. 277 is the 59th prime number. And the reason that's important, and this is why the media does this type of stuff, she died on February 19th, but the media did not report it until February 28th, because that is the 59th day of the year. And also her name was Cindy Brodus. That equals 228 in gematria. And then they reported her death on 2/28. Her name equals 228. 2/28, the 59th day of the year. That acid attack, 277 days after Dr. Phil's birthday, the 59th prime. The word kill in Jewish gematria equals 59. I also pointed out that the story came 181 days after Dr. Phil's birthday. Dr. Phil in Jewish gematria equals 181. 181 is also the 42nd prime, which is important to the people who, the people who control our media, the people who script our sports leagues. It all goes back to Freemasonry and whatever else. Freemasons. Freemason in gematria equals 42. The Bible's coded with that same number. The New Testament equals 42. It starts off with the 42 generations leading up to Jesus. So just pointing that out. His real name's Philip McGraw. Philip McGraw equals 69 in gematria. Her name's Cindy Brodus. The small way equals 60, and with the S exception, 69. And her sister is Dr. Phil's wife, Rose McGraw. She equals 60, just like her sister's name. See how it's interrelated? And all of the 50 from above, 50, if you write it out, equals 69. Just like Cindy Brodus, just like Philip McGraw, Dr. Phil's real name. I also pointed out the small way, Dr. Phil equals 67. He's currently 67 years old. And he's born on September 1st, which in other parts of the world, they write the date 1/9, like 19, which is the 19th prime number is 67. The word acid equals 91, right? The acid attack. I also thought it was interesting that Cindy Brodus, the the acid attack was in 2001, right? Reminding us of 9/11, and she died at the age of 68. And 33 years before 9/11, 2001 was 1968, and that's when World Trade Center construction began. It's also when George Bush graduated from Yale Skull and Bones, and it's also when AT&T made 911 the emergency dialing code, 1968. And George Bush's birthday was 68 days before 9/11. A bunch of other stuff. Just found it interesting she died at the age of 68. And the acid attack was also on June 5th, which is the 156th day of the year. 911 is the 156th prime number. The word, if you write out false flag, it equals 156. If you write out 33 as words, 33 equals 156. The company who constructed the World Trade Center, can't think of how to pronounce it. Something Clementic, whatever, it equals 156 in Gematria, like the 900, 911, 156 prime number. In Jewish Gematria, if you write out Al Qaeda terrorist attack, it equals 911. And also Tisha B'Av equals 911. It's the Jewish festival in honor of the two towers and whatever, the collapse of the two towers, or the two temples, sorry, the two temples, and then we have the two towers collapse and whatever else. I also thought it was interesting in regards to the date 6-5, because in Gematria, Philadelphia equals 65 the small way. And Philadelphia is important to the beginning of the nation. Philadelphia has been really big in the coding lately. The Eagles just won the Super Bowl, and they're just synced up. They're synced up to the Stoneman Douglas stuff. Philadelphia's super important. All of the flag stuff and kneeling during the national anthem in football. The flag was supposedly sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is just really important. So this acid attack happening on 6-5 just made me think of Philadelphia that equals 65. And if you read out 50 in Jewish Gematria, it equals 521. And Philadelphia equals 521 in Satanic Gematria. The acid attack was 98 days before 9/11. If you read out 98, it equals 521 in Satanic Gematria. And the 98th prime number is 521. So just interesting in regards to stuff I've been covering recently, and I talk about how the media stories are interrelated and they have connections to each other. So Philadelphia, super important, the city of brotherly love, connected to the Valentine's Day shooting. I also pointed out that acid attack reminds me of the Joker, like from Batman, and it is interrelated because Donald Trump said that he was Batman. There's a bunch of stuff going on with Batman. Just recently, you have to be following my channel to understand what I'm going to say here, but I mentioned how Joaquin Phoenix is important to whatever's going on with the Valentine's Day shooting and whatever else. And in the beginning of February, there was even stories about how he's going to be the next Joker or whatever, right? Acid attack, the next Joker. And then he says he didn't know it, blah, blah, blah. That's what he says now. But there were stories in early February saying that he's going to be the new Joker. And whatever else. I looked up, let's just look at some more coding. That's basically why I'm just talking about this. But he's in a movie that's coming out called Mary Magdalene that's coming out, or maybe it just came out, or it's coming out March 16th of 2018, which is just so interesting because in Jewish Gematria, Jesus Christ or in Hebrew Gematria, Jesus Christ equals 316. Think about John 3:16 being important and whatever else. Jesus, and this movie's coming out on 3/16 in the UK. And Ash Wednesday was just on Valentine's Day when we had the Valentine's Day shooting. In Gematria, Valentine's equals 40. Easter, which is the end of Ash Wednesday, Ash Wednesday is the beginning before Easter or Lent or whatever. Easter equals 40. And some people believe that Jesus died on the cross at age 40 and not 33. You can research it. There's some people who talk about that. They say that's even why when you're age 40, you're over the hill because Jesus was crucified on the hill, which is called Golgotha. Golgotha equals 40, right? Think about Easter and him resurrecting on Easter, that equals 40. Valentine's equals 40. The word Christ equals 40. Jesus was tempted by Satan for 40 days, right? And then when he came back after Easter, he stayed for 40 days even. Christ equals 40. And think about the Halloween equals 40 even. And think about Halloween and returning from the dead, resurrecting and everything else. So guess just wanted to point that out. 40, an important number to Jesus, and Easter, the resurrection and whatnot. So we'll leave it at that. Just wanted to show that we got a contrived story, and the reason we didn't get the story about Dr. Phil's sister-in-law dying until 228 is because her name in Gematria equals 228. And they wanted to sync it up to that number 50, sync it up to the acid attack, and sync it up to Dr. Phil. So check out the links in the description. Have a good one. Peace.